Hey there guys, and welcome to another video of Ask Exterminator. I'm Exterminator, and thank you for joining me. So this is a series where you guys ask me questions down in the comments, and then I answer them in the next video the following week. So right now I'm taking comments, questions from the comment section of last week's video. If you have any questions for me, I'll leave them in the comments of this current video, and then I will answer them next week. And that can be anything Factorio related, game related, non-game or Factorio related at all. Anything you're interested about or want me to answer, as long as it's appropriate for me to answer on YouTube. And we'll start off here at the top, some good ones as always. So Wesley Rich asks, which of your current YouTube series is your favorite to make? They say, I love watching the Reddit weeklies and of course 1.0 tutorial series as I'm a new player. Well, welcome to the game and the channel, by the way, Wesley. New to the channel and love the content so far. Thank you so much for saying that. And that is a great question, and honestly a bit of a hard one to answer because I like doing all my video series. I would have to say though, if I had to pick one currently, like there's a lot that I can mark as my favorite, like past series, like playthroughs, but currently ongoing. I think my favorite series to make is the mod spotlights. I really love it because there's so many cool creative mods and ideas that people come up with that I think really add to the game, or just honestly really interesting. And it's always fun every week to like find something, and then even though finding it can be a little annoying sometimes because sometimes it's just really hard to find like any new ones because just some weeks there isn't much new added or updated. But it is still interesting to search through and find one, and then like go through it and see like what it does and how it works, and to present it to you guys. That's probably my favorite series to do for sure, is the mod spotlight series. But I do enjoy doing all of them. Jeremy Irish asks, he says, thanks for all the content. Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for watching. Love the base tours in particular. Do you remember what your own first experience of Factorio was like? Somewhat. I remember like general feelings of it. I had watched a fair bit of YouTube videos of it beforehand, not specifically to learn, but I had actually found out about the game through watching YouTube, through a YouTuber who some of you may be well aware of, named Avak. He is a pretty good sized YouTuber, does a lot of variety gaming, but he had a YouTube series. It was his very first Factorio series, very long time ago. I found the game through that, so I had obviously watched that, and maybe I think part of Aroombas or something before I bought the game, and then and yeah. So the reason I mention that is because I kind of had an idea going in, but I do remember my first experience still being very confusing, but also very intriguing and interesting and a bit of a challenge. And my very first time, I actually got wrecked pretty early on. I think I maybe made it to green science, maybe not even. I know I did red science, and I had like walled in and put some turrets, and I just got absolutely destroyed by the biters. Um, so then I restarted, and the second playthrough I did was actually the one where I beat the game, which back then was the rocket defense instead of the rocket silo. And that one took me, I think, about 40, I want to say 45 hours, like between like 41 and 45 hours. It's somewhere in there. I know that's very specific, but I know it is either one of those or somewhere in between that amount. And I remember still being kind of confused, but like just really, I mean, anyone who's new to Factorio will understand this feeling. Just like really intrigued, really drawn in, as we experienced when we first start. It was very easy to just spend hours playing and tweaking things and redoing layouts, and it was just such an awesome feeling of like satisfaction every time I would figure something out, or like expand a layout and see it working better, or just doing something differently. And like going to get an outpost was super cool and intriguing. That's kind of how I remember it. It was really cool. And I mean, the game is still cool, but I obviously experience it very differently now because I'm not just learning it, for the first time. It's kind of like first time you see a movie is different than the next 10 times you see it. Tyler Ruiz asks, thanks for answering my questions. You're very welcome. What are your thoughts on loaders? Do you think they're worth it? Well, loaders are obviously a modded entity to actually have unlocked. They're technically in the game, but you have to like use a command or the editor or cheat mode, I think, excuse me, to unlock them. Uh, I think that they're interesting. I mean, in terms of it being worth it, like, yeah, they're really good. I think they're actually a little overpowered. Um, I think if they were tweaked a little bit, they could definitely be a good part of the game. Personally, I don't use them. I don't use them mostly just for the same reason the devs didn't add them, because I think that they just simplify things a little too much. Uh, that's kind of my opinion. Like if you use them, I have no problem with that whatsoever. Nothing against it. But I personally don't use them, and that's kind of my opinion of it. Uh, so hopefully that answers your question. Um, this is a really interesting question from Shadowhinge. I'm gonna try my best to answer it, but it's a bit difficult maybe because it's a very very interesting question. So there's that their scenario is the devs called. They called me, let's say, and they say they'll add any one feature and change any one feature you desire. What are they? This is very interesting. So basically, I can choose one feature to be added and one feature to be changed. Um, any one I desire. So I'm gonna say I did give this some thought beforehand, and I still wasn't really able to come up with a solid answer. So I'm thinking about it again now. Um, I think if I had to add a feature, just one feature, and I'm not really sure. It's a little bit of an open-ended question, like or not as specific, because like I don't know if a feature is like just like one new like item recipe or if it can be like an entire encompassing thing. Um, like if I were to add any one feature, it would it would just be like a better late game. Like I don't know if that's too big of a feature, if that's more like a redesign. But if that counts, I would say a better late game, as I've gone over in a previous video in this series. Definitely a more fleshed out late game. If that's too broad of a thing, then I guess my second answer is just like one feature. Um, is honestly probably just something they're already adding. Uh, and I know this also seems like not a good answer, but like one of the top features um, I wanted, or just in my list of things I would want would be some stuff that they're already adding in 1.1, um, like markers for your for builds, like what's being made on the map. I think would be really great. Obviously, you can do that yourself, but it gets kind of tedious. So actually having that just displayed, like with a toggle on and off, kind of like you can do with the debug, would be really awesome. But I think they're actually adding that in 1.1. And then the other one, honestly, would have been some way to better control trains. Not necessarily the specific one they showed off in the Friday Facts, because like I hadn't thought of something that specific. But that really does help with what I would want to accomplish. So that would be the answer to that. And then changing any one feature. Uh, honestly, I would say changing any feature. I may have to come back to this question in this video, but I may need to think about it as I go through the rest of these. Because I know there is one or two in here. And again, I thought of it before I had like thought about it, and it's really hard to come up with a solid answer because this is a really good question. Changing any one feature, probably like I want to say it has something to do with just a quality of life thing that is really frustrating to me. But I'll come back to this question. Uh, I'll think about it while I answer others. So moving on to Tyler Reitz again with another question. And this is another very good question. What parts of the game do you never use at all? They say, I never use slowdown poison capsules or steel furnaces. First of all, I'm not sure why you never use steel furnaces because they are excellent. They are literally the best furnace in the game, in my opinion. They are twice as fast as a stone furnace, uh, which means they're actually uh, more coal efficient. They obviously are doubling your production speed. But at the same time, they take the same footprint as a stone furnace, and they don't require electricity, so they're absolutely fantastic. Now, electric furnaces obviously are good because they don't require coal, but they require uh, quite a lot of electricity, and they smelt at the same speed as a steel furnace. Obviously, you can add modules and beacon them, but anyway, that's kind of a sidetrack. The part of the game that I never use at all, I would have to agree. Slowdown capsules is one. I literally never use them. Like, I mean, I should say not literally ever. I do use them usually just for like giggles, like jokes, just for the hell of it, really. Like, just, oh, okay, sure, I'll just make one. Why not? But like, I never actually use them in any useful time or purpose, really. I just don't really find them that useful at all. I'd have to look at all the items in the game. There's definitely other parts that I very, very rarely. Oh, coal liquefaction. That's one. That's one I was talking about in my stream. I basically never ever use coal liquefaction. It does have the pro of being able to basically just do it, like be able to get oil products anywhere you have coal, and just being an alternative with some cool outcomes. But in general, I think it's not that great, and I basically just never ever use it. Trying to think. That's really the main. That those are the main two. In all honesty, I think there's a few others. I very rarely use the shotgun. I think it's pretty good. I just find it a little bit tedious to use sometimes, and I usually am just to a better upgraded weapon that pass that fairly soon. So those are the ones I can throw to you at the top of my head. Chad Klatz asks, "Hi, Extreme. Do you ever plan to bring back Satisfactory? Not now, but maybe somewhere in time when it leaves early access. And what is your favorite genre of music?" Um, I don't have like a specific plan to bring back Satisfactory, but I'm certainly not against it. I did enjoy it. It was again kind of tiresome and like a very long process to get anything done, which made it difficult for me to make series out of, and with limited time that I have. But I did not dislike the game at all. So I would certainly be open to bringing it back. I didn't have like a specific plan for it, but maybe once there's more ways of automating things and it's a little cleaner. I know they've been doing a lot of work on it. Perhaps then I would certainly be willing to bring it back. Another game I would like to play some more of. I've kind of got an urge for it is shoot, what's it called? Billions, the zombie game. It's I don't know. I kind of have an urge to play that one too. I know it's not part of your question, but and then they ask, "What is your favorite genre of music?" This is I really don't necessarily have a favorite genre or one that I can name because it's probably gonna upset a lot of people. I'm not like a super music person, so the music I like, I actually can't necessarily put it into a genre because I'm, I guess, an idiot and I don't listen to music enough or know enough about music to like just be like, okay, yeah, this song is punk, or this song is new age rock, or this song is such and such. Like, I have like a lot of songs I like, but I don't really know what genre they're necessarily in. I can tell you what genres I don't like. I don't like country. I don't like rap, and I like some rap, very specific. I'm very, very picky about that. I don't like heavy metal most of the time. Uh, what else? That's yeah, that's about it. The my music tastes very are very very kind of open ended. They vary widely. So like I like Celtic music, and then I also like rock music, and then I also like hip hop, and then to some degree, and I also like electronica music, and I stuff like it's just like certain songs or like play or like albums or artists from certain genres. I really don't have necessarily a favorite one. I would say like if you turn on the radio to a popular station, um, probably I like most songs on there. I mean, to name a few artists, I like most of what Kygo does, that type of music. The Weeknd, I really like a lot of his music. Um, who else? there's a lot of others, and like I said, I don't know enough about music where like my girlfriend's really into music, and she can just be like, okay, yeah, I like these genres and subgenres, and then I like these, and then she'll just list like 20 artists, and I don't, I just I'm just not, I'm not enough into music. Like some people, just listen to music all the time. Really, the only times I listen to music is if I'm doing some work on the computer that does not require like any sort of like hard focus. Like if I'm just like typing up a general notes or something, like I was listening to music while I typed up the Factorio notes, or if I'm just like doing busy work in Factorio, like off camera, maybe I'll listen to music, or when I'm in the car. But like I don't listen to music really any other time. I usually just don't think of it. Uh, so hopefully that answers that question. That was a bit of a long answer. And someone has a fairly technical question, it looks like. Calm Hauser says, I'm new to the game and have been watching your excellent tutorials. Well, thank you. I just set up a logistics network to auto repair my border. Oh, okay. So I answered this question in the, like, I commented with the answer to their question, but I'm going to read their question and then answer it anyway for anyone else who maybe has a similar question or issue. So they say they set up a logistics network to auto repair my border wall, but I'm trying to get repair packs automatically sent to the robo ports. I've tried setting up a requester chest that feeds into the robo ports, but the robots just take the repair packs back out of the robo port and put them into the requester chest. Could you advise me how to do it, please? So first off, and again, I said all this in my comment, I'm not really sure why the robots are taking them out of the robo ports unless you're exporting them, like unless you're actually taking an inserter and dumping them out of them. But to answer this question, for anyone else who maybe just has the same issue or similar issue, basically what it sounds like if they have like maybe two networks or one network and they're trying to request packs over. A really good solution to this is going to be the buffer chest. So a buffer chest is a perfect solution for this because the buffer chests can request items just like a requester chest, but they also act as a passive provider chest. And then you can so like don't put them in the roboports, just put a buffer chest requesting repair packs, and then the robots can access them, the repair packs from that chest. Whereas obviously just using a requester chest, the robots can't directly access that. So that's the answer. If anyone else is having issues like that, buffer chest will usually fix your problem. And then Windows Agent asks, would you play Minecraft with tech mods? Also, do you think it would be cool, could be cool, to introduce certain mods as a Factorio features, such as applied energistics storage for in-game or something like that? Maybe I'd play Minecraft with tech mods. I never really played Minecraft with mods. It's an interesting concept. Like, here's my opinion. I know this is a controversial opinion. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem with Minecraft. I really like Minecraft. I played Minecraft for years. I really do like Minecraft. But my theory or my perspective is if I were to play Minecraft with tech mods or mods that make it similar to Factorio, I would rather just play Factorio. Like, I like Minecraft for what it is as a vanilla game, and I'm not saying that like you shouldn't mod it or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But for my personal experience, for my personal play experience and personal opinion, if I'm going to mod Minecraft to be something like Factorio, I would might as well just play Factorio. I would just rather play Factorio at that point. And then the second question is certain mods as Factorio features applied. I don't. So is this a mod? I don't even know what this mod is. Oh no, this mod. So this is like infinite storage or something. I've looked at this mod before. Yeah. So this is like digitally transfer items via the storage network. So this could be cool for late game. That would actually be kind of cool as a late game feature, just like a really, really high level tech. I think stuff like that could certainly be viable if it's implemented properly. I can see it just being really dull or bland or really just not adding anything useful or being too overpowered. But if it does add it properly, which I'm sure they would if they did that, I think it could be pretty beneficial. I think we're almost done here. Ah, Fred G asks, what are your hobbies other than Lego and Factorio? Do you even have any? Sounds slightly rude, but no, that's a good question. And they say, are you in the cute biters or gross biters camp? Um, so, and then they have another thing. I'm not sure. It's kind of a question. They say, I know you chose not to answer where you lived in an earlier QA, or was it a stream? Are you aware you have a video that announces it's still available on the channel? I've said it publicly multiple times where I live. So, well, generally, obviously, I'm not gonna like give out my address. That's really stupid. That's a really stupid thing to do. So for your first question, what are your hobbies other than Lego and Factorio? Like full-on hobbies, I don't really have any. Um, Honestly, I don't have the time or money for that. Lego is a very expensive hobby and very time-consuming, and I recently got very much back into it. Um, so those are my two, Factorio and Lego. And Factorio is not really even a hobby at this point; it's a job. But um, I would say if I had to say I had another hobby ish, it would be cooking. Like I really enjoy cooking. I really enjoy cooking with my girlfriend. I enjoy cooking with my parents. Um, it's just a lot of fun. I like eating. I like the cook. I like the experience of cooking. I would say I'm a decent cook. Obviously, people who are not good at cooking don't usually like it. You know, you don't usually like doing things you're not good at. But yeah. So those are the main ones. I mean, yeah, I have other interests. I wouldn't say they're a hobby. Like I'm interested in cars. I'm kind of a car guy. But like I don't work on cars. You know, I don't really have that as a hobby. But that is an interest. But like most of my free time, not spent doing Lego and Factorio stuff, is usually just like hanging out with my girlfriend or just watching TV or YouTube or movies. That's like I really just enjoy chilling and doing that. So yeah, and I am definitely in the gross biters camp. I do not think biters are cute whatsoever. I think sometimes they can be silly, like when the biters just chill there and like shoot, just attack rocks. Or worms. I think sometimes worms are a little cute. Like if there's just a little stranded worm on an island, I'm like, oh, he's kind of cute. Let's just keep him. Like let's not blow him up. But in general, no. I'm definitely more of the gross biters. I hate bugs. And if Bomb Bug watches this, he's gonna be really mad at me. And then if any, because someone asked, if someone asked this in one of the previous videos in this series, and I answered it. But I live in Colorado. I live in the Denver area, Denver metro area. That's as close as I'm gonna get. Giving any more details than that is a really dumb thing to do. But yeah, I mean, I've said that before. I've said it multiple times on my stream that it's not a huge secret. I don't think. Yeah. So I think that's about it. H1IOA asks, "What's your PC build?" My PC build is listed on my website, I think, or maybe it's not updated. My current PC build is an i7-9700K processor, a GTX 1080 Ti, 16 gigs of RAM, 3200 hertz, 14 cast latency, which is very specific but very important because that really helps with Factorio running as efficient as possible. Your CPU and RAM will help with that, and the faster speed RAM and lower cast latency are very important for that. And I think that's it. Let me see if this has a question in it. I don't think so. So to come back to Shadow Hinge's question of if there were anything I were to change, any feature I would change. I know there's some because there are some things that just drive me crazy in the game. uh, Again, honestly, I would come back to late game. I think the late game is like the more I play the game, the more I see how everything else is polished. I think the late game is really lacking, to be completely honest with you. Um, I don't know if the thing I would add and thing I would change can be the same thing, but I'm saying the same same thing basically. There's little tiny features. Like today, they were on my stream. I noticed that turrets on your map are red. Now, obviously, like in the game, they correspond to your color, but on the map view, turret icon, like turret, on for your on your map, the color is red, which to me is very deceiving. Like I understand why they're red, kind of like they're a military building, but it's very conceiving or like sorry, conceiving, deceiving, um, and it's confused me and scared me a lot because I thought that I was being attacked. Uh, and I would think, it's understandable because usually you're going to be attacked where your turrets are, and if your turrets are red and the enemies are red, like obviously the enemies are smaller, but like just on first quick glance, you just see red and you're like, oh crap, I'm being attacked. I really think they should be a different color. I mean, I don't know if that really counts. It's a really small thing. But yeah, there's that, and I'm sure there's a few others. There's a few others that drive me a little crazy. A lot of the stuff I want to change, they actually just fixed or introduced in 1.0 and or going to in 1.1. So most most things I would answer that the devs are already taking care of or already have taken care of. Honestly, uh, you know, so that would be before. This will be my last like answer to that. Before 1.0, I would have had a very solid answer of I would like the feature or the fact that you can't turn on and off your requests, like your personal logistic requests. That's something I want to change. That's something I constantly complain about. Is being able to turn off and then back on your personal logistic requests. But they added that feature in 1.0 or slightly before it, so that's no longer really my main complaint in terms of things to be changed. Oh, okay, no, sorry, I have one more. I keep stringing along, but I keep having these pop into my head. And oddly, I couldn't think of them before. Yeah. So this is actually probably my legitimate answer. Like, this is actually my legitimate answer to you. Is the ability to remove landfill. I've gone over this before. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. You can't get rid of the landfill. I'm not asking for water fill. I know the reason they don't allow you to add water. That makes sense. I get it. I'm not asking for that. I literally just want the ability to deconstruct the landfill you place. Like if you've placed a landfill, like you or your bots, like if it's a landfill that has been artificially made and placed, I think you should be able to pick it up. That's my stance. I don't see why you can't do that. I don't see how that's cheaty. Like, you can't create moats. Like, if you're creating a moat, there would have already been a moat there because you landfilled it, right? So, like, you can't just create extra water, like, from removing landfill you already placed. It's just water that was already there before you placed the landfill. So, I just think it's super tedious and kind of ridiculous, the fact that you can't pick it up. Like, it just makes like one little mistake for something, especially with like nuclear builds, and you just screwed yourself out of the whole build or like the whole setup, and it's just so frustrating. It seems kind of needless to me. You can probably tell by the tone of my voice, that's actually really frustrating to me. I really don't understand why you can't remove landfill. It doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, so that's my answer. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. Leave any questions you have for me down in the comments of this video, and I will answer them in next week's video. Thank you so much. If you did enjoy, a like is much appreciated. If you're new to the channel and content, feel free to subscribe to keep up with all the videos I'm releasing. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.